When I first started out, I was broke all the time. We spent all the money we had and then some, because back then you could write checks, and we would write hot checks and bounce those checks, and then we'd have to pay for whatever the amount was on the check the next payday, plus all of the fees that the bank would charge us and the fees that the store would charge us for not having the money, not having the funds in the account. So that was one of the turning points for me when I went and took my check and I deposited like $600. And I can't remember the exact amount, but I got the receipt because the teller was like, "Kelly, would you like a receipt?" And I was like, "Sure." I get it and I drive away from the window and I've got like $38 in my account. And I'm like, ugh, I couldn't believe it, because this was one of those things that I had been fighting for a while, and it just finally got to the point where it took my whole check to pay for all the bounce check fees, all the bad check fees, and to pay for the things we had already written checks for. When I first started to actually pay attention to my money, it was a little bit before that happened, and I'll tell you what happened is I read a book. I don't remember exactly which book. It was probably The Success Principles by Jack Canfield, or it was something that I heard that Bob Proctor said. And as you might know, Bob Proctor, he studied Think and Grow Rich for 50 some odd years, and his whole business was around teaching all these success principles that Napoleon Hill taught. And he said that in order to start to break the cycle of this scarcity mindset, is take a $100 bill and just put it in your wallet. Take that $100 bill, put it in your wallet, and do not spend it. So that's what I did. Started to do that. And there were a couple of times early on where I went to go pay for something, or I wanted something and I didn't really have the money, but I did have the money because I had that $100 bill, and I'd go ahead and spend it. But I made it a priority. Once I spent it, I made it a priority to replace it as quickly as I could. And eventually it got to the point where I would delay my gratification long enough that I could put another $100 bill in there, and another. And then for years, and even to this day, I carry at least $1,000 in my wallet. It's simply just so I feel more secure about having money. There was some weird expense that came up, and if I didn't have the money in my checking account, well, I had the cash to take care of it.